All right, business information technology. I'll show you what we're working on today. Our next little exercise in Adobe Illustrator has to do with effects that come off the effect menu. They're visual effects that you can do on text or you can do them on shapes. I want to show you a little bit about what that all is about. On my website, as I'm showing you this, I don't have the handout all linked up. When you're actually getting ready to do this assignment, there should be a handout linked right here. It'll be Illustrator number 6, Effects, and you'll be able to click that link and see the handout if you need. Now, I'm going to show you the handout just right here and show you what's going on with this assignment. We're going to create some shapes and apply some effects from the effect menu, just like I said. Now, there's a step-by-step thing here for you in case you need it, and I'm going to show you this. I'm not there to send you this file that you'll need, so you're going to get it from My Big Campus, and I'll show you how. You're going to go to My Big Campus, go to your schoolwork link, and you're going to click the link for the assignment, and then I have the file attached to the assignment, so you should be able to just open it up from there. If it doesn't work, you could just create a new artboard and just make sure you do all the assigned effects, and I've got them all listed down here for you. I'm going to demonstrate it. This is really not a hard assignment. Then if you have any terrible trouble with it, just save your work and ask me tomorrow when I'm back, and I'll help you with it. All right, so let's kind of work through this. All right, I'm not going to read all of these instructions to you right now. I am going to demonstrate it on the computer here. All right, so let me get this out of the way. Now, the first thing I mentioned was let's get up to My Big Campus, and I'm looking at this is kind of how the assignments look to me when I'm working with it. But if I scroll this down, I'll see Illustrator number 6, and that's today's assignment, effects. All right, well, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to click that link, and I've got to go to this preview thing. You won't have to do this preview. I have to do it because I want to preview what it's going to look like for you. So when you click that link, you should see it says here, upload your file, and somewhere on that page it should have this right here. It's an attachment. I made an attachment on the assignment, and it says Effects AI, and if I click that, then what's going to happen, it should just, hopefully if this all works right, it should just open it up in Illustrator for you. It should start Illustrator, and it opens up the artboard, and we are ready to rock and roll. I'm going to resize this Illustrator window just a little bit and make it all fit so we can see what we're doing. Yeah, it sort of fits. Let's move that over just, it doesn't want to move, that's okay, doesn't have to. All right, so anyway, and we've got some weird things happening on the computer. And we're back. I got that fixed, a little glitch there, but we got it all fixed. Okay, so you see if this artboard does download successfully, over here on the left hand side I've got the things that I want you to do. If it doesn't download successfully, it's on the handout. You can look at the handout and you'll know what to do from there. Alright, so here's how this works. First of all, if you notice, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 things under this category of distort and transform. There's another 1, 2, 3, 4 under this category of stylize, and there's actually 2 underneath the category of warp. So if you do 4 and 4 and 2, that's 10. Well, all right, so you could do this with any shapes you want, but here's what I'm going to do. Just to make this go a little bit faster, I'm just going to decide that I'm going to use a star. Now, you can use other shapes if you want. It's up to you. You can use whatever shape you like. But I'm going to draw a star, use my black arrow tool here to kind of just move it around a bit. And I counted a minute ago. There's 4 plus 4 plus 2. That's 10. All right, well, I'm going to make sure I have this the color I want, and I'm going to give it a little bit of thickness in the outline. That's stuff we've already covered. You know how to do that now, I hope. All right, now I need 10 of these, so I'm just going to use the Alt drag trick. We've talked about that before too. I'm going to Alt drag. Little lag in my computer here, and all right, I'm going to Alt drag that, and I'm going to Alt drag that, and I want to get a total of 10 of these. All right, so I'm just Alt dragging, Alt drag, Alt drag. See, what I'm going to do is for all of these things that I'm about to show you, I'm going to use all stars. Now, maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you want to try it with other stuff. That's okay. You can. But I'm just going to try to make this demo pretty fast. So I'm just alt dragging these things, and all right, I've got 10. Yay. All right, so let's go to work. How does this all work? Well, first of all, if you're going to do an effect on an object, you have to select the object first. So you got to use your black arrow for that. We've kind of talked about that. That's something we've covered already. You've got to click. If you're going to select something, you click it with the black arrow. All of the work you're going to do today is found up here on the Effect menu. So I'm clicking here on the Effect menu. We are getting glitchy here, but we're okay. Now maybe we're better. We're going to click on the Effect menu, and the first set of 4 is underneath Distort and Transform. So I'm pointing to it right there. I want you to see where that is, Distort and Transform. The first of the ones that I want you to do, you can see it behind that menu. It's Pucker and Bloat. So we're going to go over here and pick Pucker and Bloat. Now for a lot of these effects, there's a preview button. So if you want to preview it, that's a good idea. Now if I do pucker on this, here's what happens to this star. Oh, look at that. Okay, all right, yeah, that's kind of cool. Or if I go the other way and do bloat, it does this. Oh my goodness. Okay, you see the shape that we're getting now. Now what's happening here with these effects, I'm drastically changing the way that doesn't really look much like a star anymore. And it will behave differently depending on the shape that you use. You know, if I'm not using a star, if I'm using a circle or a square or something like that, pucker and bloat is going to look a little bit different. But I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, you know, I see what's happening. I'll click OK, and that one's done. Now, if you wish, and this is really kind of up to you, you can take these text items over here and label these if you want to just kind of keep track of your progress. But I don't really care about that. You can do that or not. All right, so we're going to move fast here. I want to get this done. On this next one, the next thing down is Roughen. All right, well, I'm going to go to Effect. I'm going to go to Distort and Transform, and I'm going to go to Roughen. I want to preview it. I'm going to move this box out of the way so I can see what's happening. You can see the edges of this star getting all crinkly here. Now you can play around with the size of the Roughen effect and the detail of the Roughen effect, and play around with smooth corner, whatever you want. I just want you to know how to do it, kind of what it does. You click OK. We're moving on. All right, that's Roughen. Label them if you want to, but if you don't want to, that's totally fine with me. That star is in front of that. I could do an arrange and send to back. There we go. All right, so for the next star, it's going to be a twist. So I'll go to Effect, I'll go to Distort and Transform, and I'm going to twist. Again, preview is a good idea. Twist works with an angle. If I enter an angle of 270 and press the Tab key, then you'll see the effect take place. Now you could use any angle that you want, and you'll get more or less of a twist. I'll click OK there. That is a twist. Zigzag is a little bit like Roughen, not quite the same, but a little bit. I'll click Effect and Distort and Transform and Zigzag. I'm going to preview it, and you see what it's doing. Again, I can play with the size of these zigzaggy segments. The ridges per segment will make a bit of a difference. Whether it's smooth or corner makes a difference. So again, you just kind of play with it, you preview it, you see what you like, and you click OK when you think, okay, I kind of see what that effect does. And that wraps up the section of it underneath Distort and Transform. So let's move on. The next part's under Stylize, and we're going to do a drop shadow first. Select the object that you want, Effect, Stylize is right here, and drop shadow is what we're going to do. All right, well, I'm going to drop shadow, and I'm going to preview. And now you may have to play with this one a little bit. You know, it jumped in there and said it was calculating and all this, but you can already see the drop shadow happening with a blur of 5 and the X and Y offset and the mode. You could play with any of those things, even the color. Change the color if you want to. But if you get something you feel like, okay, I see what a drop shadow does, click OK. And I have a drop shadow, and I'm moving on. Outer glow is next, so I'm going to go to Effect, and it's Stylize and Outer glow. You do not have to spin forever on this today. I'm just going to preview that. Now you can see if you look carefully, there's kind of a little bit of a black outer glow happening here. I'm going to change the color of that outer glow. You can just click that black box and get a different color if you wish. If I increase the amount of blur a little bit, you're kind of seeing a soft red glow around the outside of that star. That's what outer glow does. I'll click OK there, and we have an outer glow. Moving on, the next is round corner. Bet you can't guess what this does. Effect, stylize, round corners. I'm going to move this over a little bit. I'm going to preview that, and if I play around with this radius, the more I add to the radius, the rounder the corners get. So you can tweak that however much you want. I click OK, and we have a round corner. The last one that we're going to do in this section is a scribble. All right, so I'll select my star, go to Effect and Stylize and Scribble. All right, now again I'm going to preview this, and you see what I'm getting. It looks like it's kind of been drawn with a scribbly marker. Now one thing that's kind of fun is to play with the defaults that are up here, like snarl or like childlike, and see what you like from there. But any of these also have all of these slider things that you can tweak around and do whatever you feel like you like. I'm going to put it on sketch and say good enough. So I'll click OK there. Down to our last two. Now the last two are kind of, I said pick two on the warps. I didn't label my scribble. It's not critical that you do that, but all right, I told you to pick two on the warps. Well, here's how the warps work. I'm going to go to Effect, and I'm going to go to Warp, and there's all kinds of warps. So I've got two shapes down here. I need to do two of them. Okay. All right. How about a bulge? Oops, I got the wrong thing. I got an arch there. You can preview it. And you can see what that does. That's what the arch does right there. It's kind of bending that star up in an arch. But I was going to do a bulge. And you can play with the amount of bend in it, the horizontal and vertical distortion, and you'll get a number of visual effects happening depending on the style of the warp and the options that you set. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. That's one of them. And now I'll come over here and just do a different one here. Just do it. Go to Effect and go to Warp and pick something different. Don't do the same thing. All right. How about a rise? We'll see what happens there. That looks pretty weird. Again, you can play with the amount of bend, the horizontal and vertical distortion, and you see what I'm getting. Now again, if you weren't doing it with a star, it would look different. Different shapes are going to look different when you do these effects. So you don't have to do stars. You can do something different if you wish. All right, so my warps there, I've got my two of those picked. All right, so I'm done. So all I would have to do is come up here and do File and do Save, and it'll probably save in my Downloads folder. I'm guessing if I do File and Save, probably in my Downloads folder. And then when you go back to My Big Campus, you may have to, when you start your submission, you might have to look in your Downloads folder. If you need help with that, I can help you tomorrow. If you figure it out today, that's great. But the big thing is give this a shot, work with these effects, and try to get 10 of them done. We're doing these 4 from Distort and Transform, 4 from Stylize, 2 warps, and get that saved. And then if you need help turning it in, I can help you tomorrow when I get back. All right, it is your turn. Time to go to work. Have at it.